Hello, it's David James again, and I'm back. The servant of God. In my last topic, I talked about the image of God, and I hope by now that you've done a little search and you've come up to the conclusion that no one knows the image of God. What you see in the mirror may or may not be the image of God. For us to draw a conclusion one way or the other is to judge and know the mind of God. We don't know that. We can't do that. It is best for us to say we don't know what we look like. We don't know what God's image is. Therefore, God is not man nor woman. It is better to say that than to call God man or woman. And it is better when we do that we get to see the full power of God. There's an insight that comes when you finally get to that point. Excuse me for a second. When we get to that point, something happens to us inside. When we say, okay, God is not man nor woman. God is God. God is the great who I am. Then what about the God in the Bible? The one that everybody reads about. What about the God in the Quran? What about the religious leaders in Buddha? What about the great other religious leaders in different sects? They too do not know the image of God. There is only one God. There is not many different ways to believe in Him. There is only one way to believe. As many different religions there are out there, they're saying this is the way to believe. This is how it's supposed to be done. This is the way it is. Isn't that where the wars start? When two factions that are not connected start fighting over what is what and what's right? This is where it all begins. And how does that part of it ever end? It doesn't. But why is this faction so rooted in believing God is this way and another faction so rooted that God is that way? That's because they are brought up from childhood to believe this, to worship like this, and not to be changing. You know, I have to scratch my ear because I can't believe what I'm hearing. Is this not the same rule in which pedophiles use to gain control of your children? Start molding the child to believe this one way, that everything is alright this way, and the other way is wrong. This is what you're supposed to believe, and you can't believe any other way. You are born this way, so you must believe this way. Wait a minute. Why does that make it right? It doesn't. That never does. You know, lots of our forefathers could not read, nor could they understand the word of studying or digging or research about stuff. No. They accepted stuff on faith because they believed in the preacher that was teaching it. The preacher believed that he was the Word of God, the voice of God at the time. But does that hold true for today? No. It is too easy to take and research the right ways and wrong ways. We know there are certain facts that we have to look at, we cannot deny. And these facts are not justified in the Word of God. Not in the Bible, not in the Quran, not in any writing there is. So how do you know what is right? There's only one way to know, and that's from what is inside you. You can't get that from a book. You can't learn this any other way. Truth is, God was never meant to be put down into works. Because once you put him there, you set him aside and you forget him for the rest of the week. But that's not God. That's just a book with a bunch of black writing, red writing, and stuff like that. That does not make it God. You say it was inspired by God. Who's telling you this? Men are telling you this. Other leaders, religious leaders. Why are they doing that? The same reason why that a pedophile takes and he grooms a child to believing a certain way that this is all right. Are you being groomed? Are you really doing the research? Do you really want to know the truth? The answer's within inside you. I can't give you the answers. You have to look inside yourself. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do, to see the answers. Because once you see, it's like the word written of Jesus. Once you see the word, once you understand it, you can't turn back. Nor can I turn back. I see it. As the words are read to me from the Bible or Quran, I see the little lies and things that they manipulated into. I see and hear these things. Why? Because I hear their grooming techniques. You take the child and you tell him this is what somebody's going to say to you, and this is what's going to happen. You teach a child stranger danger, and the child remembers stranger danger. They remember these things. So will you. You will remember. You will see that what people are trying to tell you about the Bible, about the Quran, and other religions are wrong. I'm not trying to start some type of crazy fad or anything like that. All I want you to do is realize you are the living Word of God. No Bible, nothing else could ever come closer to knowing the Word of God than you. It's inside you. Look, and you will find it. Take the time. Don't be guided by what other men say. Be guided by what God will tell you inside you. I'll talk to you later.